Okay, grade 11s, welcome back. This is the lesson 3.4, obtaining a vehicle, part 2 of 2. And this one is going to be short, I promise you. I just got cut off in the last one because they were telling me I was talking too much. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so let's do example number 3. We have done an example where you buy a brand new car, get to sit in the shiny office, or when you lease a vehicle, which you can also do from a dealership. And a third option is to buy a used vehicle. Many people swear they will never buy new. And the reason is, if you remember that funny money video that we watched, as soon as you drive a new car off the lot, it significantly decreases in value. So even if you spent maybe $20,000 on a car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it becomes used, and you cannot sell it for $20,000 again. You might only be able to get $15,000. It doesn't even matter if you just drove it 5 kilometers. As soon as it's used, it significantly drops in price, which means that you can really get a deal. But maybe you know a story of someone who bought a car from this guy, but it ended up being a dud. Like, they ended up having to do thousands of dollars in repairs, and it was not worth it. So there's risk and reward in terms of buying a used car. Just another piece of information, you don't have to just buy a used car off like some guy that you know, or off Kijiji or eBay or whatever. You can also buy it from a dealership. So if you are interested in a Honda, for example, you can go to the dealership, you can buy a new car, you can lease that new car, or they also have used cars there. So there's a little bit more trust because you know that Honda has looked at this car in detail. There's people that you know what they're doing, and they can tell you what's wrong with it, if you'd have to make any repairs, etc. So that's another option. But getting a used car, you can get a great deal. So this is definitely a great deal. In example number 3, it says that a car is advertised for sale on Kijiji for $4,500. So before you give them any money, you're going to want to do a check of that. But like a maintenance check of the car to see what you've got in there, what the problems are, etc. But A says determine the total cost of the vehicle with HST. So they'll quote you a price, but you have to legally add tax. Otherwise, it's an illegal purchase. So the total cost, we already know how to add tax. What is HST again? HST in Ontario is 13%. We want to change that into a decimal. We're just going to divide by 100, which is 0.13. Okay, so our total price, or total cost, not including repairs or anything like that, is going to be our purchase price, which is $4,500, times not 0.13. If you want to calculate the tax on something, including that price they have to pay, you have to put 1.13 equals $5,085. So yeah, tax really adds a bunch to it. Alright, so there's our total cost. Let's do B now. What is the monthly payment for a $4,500 loan at 5% interest compounded monthly for 2 years? So let's say, okay, you've got to pay this person just over $5,000, but you're in a really tough financial spot. You can only really give them $500. So you've got to get a loan for the rest of it. So let's say that's why you're taking out this $4,500. You're going to get a loan for this money so you can pay this guy in Kijiji, get your car, and then how much or what's your monthly payment going to have to be to pay off this $4,500. So we know we're compounding monthly. Compounding means we're going to use our favorite equation, which is, of course, A equals P times 1 plus I, all to the power of N. So let's write out our variables that we do all the time and now can do in our sleep. P equals I equals N equals. And let's figure this out. Okay, so A is, remember, what do we owe at the very, very end? We have no clue. No clue. We just know what we're borrowing right now. And what we're borrowing right now, the present value of what are we getting immediately is that $4,500, because we are getting a loan for $4,500. Interest rate. I see our interest rate. It's $5,000. $5,000. 5%. And I can see that it is compounded monthly, this interest. So we are going to take that $5,000 and divide it by 12. And that's going to equal a yucky number. It's going to equal 0.42. I rounded that. And this is still a percent, so we still have to divide by 100. So we're going to do that. Divide by 100. And we get 0.0042. Done. Now let's do N, the number of periods we're going to be purchasing this, or we're going to be paying this for. So we're going to be doing it for 2 years. And then we know where it's compounded monthly. So we're going to multiply this 2 times 12. And we get 24. So we're going to be making 24 payments here. So now let's plug everything in. So we've got our A equals, no clue. I'll just rewrite the equation just in case you can't remember it. 1 plus I power of n. Okay, here we go. So we have no idea. What the heck is A? No clue. We're going to find out. Okay, so our P we know is $4,500. Then we've got 1 plus our I. All the way over here, 0.0042 and bracket, and our n is 24. So remember, before you put into your calculator, let's do these brackets first. So $4,500 times 1.0042. That's just adding 1 plus 0.042, 0042. Also the power of 24. And if you put that into your calculator, what you're going to get is A equals 4976.20. I've rounded. So therefore, in the future, what we're going to owe at the end of the 2 years is $4,976. So let's just write that as we go. So we will owe, maybe we're borrowing from a bank, so we'll owe the bank $4,976.20 at the end of 4 years. So our monthly payment then, so we're going to write monthly payment, is going to be that total amount, which is our $4,976.20, divided by the total number of payments we're going to make, which we already know is 24, because we're paying 12 months times 2 years. So that's going to be 24, and we've already calculated it. So we're going to divide that by 24. And whatever that is, that's going to be what we pay every single month. So if you put that into the calculator, you get $207.34. And remember, we are only paying that for 2 years. In the other examples, we're paying for 4 years. So this is a lesser payment, and on top of that, we only have to pay it for 2 years instead of 4 years. So we'll just do a concluding sentence, and we're done. So the question had asked, what's the monthly payment? So actually let's write it in yellow. Therefore, the monthly payment we must make to pay back the loan is $207.34. Done. So we've now done an example of buying a used car, which is what we just did, leasing a car, and buying a brand new spanking car. So now you probably made your own conclusions about maybe if you were going to buy a car in the next 5 years, what would probably work best for you. So let's just refresh what it is that we did in this lesson. So 3.4, obtaining a vehicle. We had 2 learning goals. We were learning to understand the cost differences of buying and leasing a car. So we looked at that T-table, the differences. And we also looked at calculating the total cost of buying a car and leasing a car. And remember, with buying, you can buy new or you can buy old. Okay, so this has been the end, part 2 of 2. I hope you've had as much fun as I have had. Please make sure that underneath your notes, 3.4, there are a few examples. Try an example, especially buying a new car, because that one took the longest, and you can bet that a one just like that is going to be on the test. So please go and attempt some of the questions on your own, and if you have any problems, come find me.